Unfortunately, only the one box arrived. Not that the other box had anime in it. Oh yeah, by the way, Jurassic Park. But, the other one had Pokemon X and Y in it. And it was supposed to be delivered, but I guess UPS lost it in the truck or something. I'll find out more tomorrow. So, that pretty much means it's just these 3 items. There's the receipt. Always gotta find the receipt. Oh well, it's unfortunate, but it's the reality. So, let's see. Let's begin by taking a look in One Piece Season 5, Voyage 3. Which probably doesn't have a very exciting inside due to the fact that it's pretty simple on the inside. It's been simple on the inside. Interesting to note that it's labeled 1 and 2. We got 1 and we've got 2. Pretty simple, straightforward. Which is pretty good in terms of making sure One Piece stuff comes out, right? Then we got Eureka 7 Part 2, Eureka 7 Astral Ocean Part 2. Oh, so Astral Ocean would be AO. First half of this came out, I don't know, a month or 2 ago or something. I didn't watch it because I kind of wanted to have all of it here. Now that it's all here, I might feel like I can watch it. Now let's see. This says DVD. This says DVD. And this says disc 3. So it's the next Blu-ray. I see. Disc 4, and this is the Blu-ray. So basically, they did the thing where this is collection 2, but the discs are labeled 3 and 4 to be in line with when you put them all together. And then we've got a Campione, which I have no idea what it's about. Hold on, this is a region A and B for Sentai Filmworks release. That's fairly unusual. I know, like last week, I forgot to mention that I think We Without Wings is A and B. But, oh, well, that's a Funimation release, so they tend to be A and B. The Sentai one, that's pretty rare, though. I wonder if they're trying to expand market or something like that. If anybody from the Region B areas knows what's going on, I'd definitely be interested in knowing more. DVD version for this shipped. It shipped actually today, so I guess it means it'll show up on Thursday. But yeah, unfortunately, that's all I have for this week. And guess I don't really have too much to say regarding that. I do know that Sword Art Online Volume 3, aka the first part of Fairy Dance, that did ship yesterday, so it should be here tomorrow. That's kind of the way 2-day shipping from Right Stuff tends to work. So, should be here for next week's update. But I guess right now I'm having trouble thinking about other things to comment on like that. Let's just talk about real quick the things I did watch. I watched the latest Naruto Shippuden part, and it finally concluded these flashbacks and started telling story again. And while obviously it didn't have as much writing on it and thus entertainment as the Pain arc, which had the appropriate build-up, it does feel like right now it's telling a relevant story and relevant things are happening, and it's neat and interesting to watch, and definitely curious what's going to happen. Unfortunately, of course, the volume came to an end. It couldn't go on forever. So, sorry. I just can't think of anything particularly noteworthy other than getting entertaining again. I didn't notice anything particularly wrong with the way the DVDs were laid out. I mentioned this mostly because Viz has been transitioning from the 3-disc layout to the 2-disc layout, putting 6 or 7 episodes on the DVD, sort of like Funimation and Sentai tend to do. And I didn't notice any particularly bad hits in the story. Definitely interested in some of it. Some of the reveals, I kind of suspected stuff along those lines, but they ended up being slightly different. I would say that if there's anything about them that's weak, it's the fact that we're like 300 or 400 episodes in the Naruto Shippuden and finding these things out now. Mostly because Naruto spent so much time being irrelevant to the progress of the story, I guess. But oh well. I guess the only other thing I watched was Fibrain Season 2. I mean, I guess I rewatched Volume 2 of Sword Art Online with a friend so that he could see it, and it was really nice to watch that again. But I guess I try not to think too much about that because I already dwell a little bit more on it than I really want to. But no, I watched Fibrain Season 2, and I think that was the only other anime thing. Yeah, I guess I got a couple more episodes of Rose of Versailles in, but I've been pushing the evenings pretty hard. Like, this evening I'm not going to watch anything there because I'm just way too exhausted. I need to go to bed after recording this. But as for Fibrain Season 2, I thought there was some neat puzzle ideas in it, but some of them were very excuse me. I don't know. I thought some of the puzzles in Fibrain Season 2, especially the versus puzzles, which I wouldn't necessarily call puzzles, but games, some of them were actually kind of neater concepts, and to be honest, I was probably a bit more convinced by the concept of the final puzzle in this one versus the concept of the final puzzle in previous one, the first season. Although that said, I thought the backstory of the bad guys in the second season was a bit weird and wonky, and I guess it was kind of supposed to be, but it's just, I don't know, a lot of it almost kind of made me think of how absurd it kind of is, where it's like, it ends up being one big group versus another, and it's like, oh, well, instead of trapping these people here, we'll just make a maze, because we can't stop making puzzles for some reason. It kind of made sense when they were doing it to our main characters, because it is in line with their goals in terms of interacting with the main characters, but for these other groups it doesn't make as much sense. But oh well, it's still fairly entertaining. Nothing bad. And now I'm caught up on Fibrain as far as I can tell. Third season may have aired or may be airing, or maybe about to air or something. I know I saw an entry on my anime list, but I haven't gone poking around in too much details. And because there's not a solid episode count, that tells me that it's not finished airing. Whether that means it never started or whatever. So other than that, I guess I've been playing Wind Waker HD. Why? Well, it's pretty easy to get into a Zelda game if you start them. And there's been a couple of interesting improvements to Wind Waker HD. I mean, I only very recently started playing with the faster sail, after I had already explored most of the Great Sea. But, well, I guess my favorite part has actually been the changes to the Picto Box and changing the Tingle Tuner into the bottle system that allows you to take your pictographs and send them out, especially in the form of taking a selfie, you know, picture of Link pointing the camera at himself. Although in the case of these, it's always over the shoulder, so it's the kind of selfie that's intended to show where the person's at. So Link will be like, oh yeah, I'm just chilling in front of this boss who's obviously whittled down all of my health, and just so I can get this one picture in, I'm just chilling. Fun things like that. I mean, I've even had some places where it's just like, oh yeah, I definitely want to make that picture work, and so I spent half an hour of real life time just kind of standing in one spot until the right picture happened. It's like, oh, I'm going to keep crashing into this enemy over and over again until I finally get this picture right. It's been fun. At this point, though, I'm not going to fire it up tonight, because I guess that doesn't matter to y'all. I started talking about some anime release stuff. I mentioned stuff that shipped. Interesting stuff on the horizon. Because I pre-ordered all of next month's anime, and I pre-ordered all the Aniplex releases. I'm already caught up on pre-ordering all the NIS, but looks like Aniplex is releasing a bunch of miscellaneous things in, I think, December. I'm going to try and buy them all. As far as I can tell, the Blue Exorcist movie is either a Blu-ray or DVD version. It's kind of confusing because the Blu-ray version says plus DVD at the end, but that might be referring to the bonus DVD. And so I guess if y'all aren't sure and would want both or something, I guess you'll be able to find out from my video if you haven't already ordered one or the other or whatever. Maybe it doesn't matter. The other things I hadn't even heard of, but it's okay. Still getting them. Yeah, I guess I can't think of anything particularly noteworthy to state in terms of releases, so there we go. That's this week's update, which is good. The sooner it's over, the sooner I can post this and hit the hay. So y'all, have a nice week.